Hey everybody, my name's Cody King. This is my channel, Cody King's World. I'm going to show you how I built my very own worm sifter. This here is the most expensive item in this build, and this is the 3/32 screen that you will need to collect the castings. You will also need 4 2x3s and 1 2x4. I cut 2 2x4s to 21 inches, and then I screwed the 2x3 into the 2x4 on each end. I then screwed on my 3/32 screen into the framework. I had an 1.5 inch overlap around the screen. I then added an 1/8 inch hardware cloth. I had to take 2 screws out on the end there so I could tuck the cloth up underneath the 3/32 screen. Now remember, the 3/32 screen is for the castings, and now this 1/8 inch hardware cloth will be for the cocoons. The cocoons is the egg from the worm, and each cocoon can have 1 to 20 worms, but the average is around 4 to 6. I was using 1/2 inch staples to staple down the hardware cloth. The 3/32 screen is 3 feet long, and then the 1/8 inch hardware cloth is also 3 feet long. And then I used a 1/4 inch cloth, and that was only 2 feet long. I added 2 pieces of wood to help support the cloth. I was able to get some staples in between the holes of the screen, and that worked out great. That really tied it down. Everything is tight together, so no casting should get stuck in between each screen. Now I put a 2x4 that overlaps the joint there between the 2x4 and the 2x3, and this will make it sturdier. I screw down the 2x3s along the screen, and on the very end it has about a 3-inch overhang, and these can work as handles. Now I need to make a base for it to hang on to. Nothing fancy here. I had some scrap wood that was sitting behind the shed, and I just simply fastened all this together with some screws. I think you get more movement with the sifter if you have it hanging on something than it being like a stable platform. The sifter is 28 inches wide and about 8 feet long, and I try to keep the base about 29 inches wide, and I kept the 2 poles that they're going to be hanging on about 6 feet apart. I pre-drilled a hole for the closed loop hooks to screw into. I used a total of 8 hooks. Now this is where I went wrong, and I used rope to hang the sifter from, and it just didn't work. The rope was coming undone, or it would break, and maybe it's just the type of rope I got if you have something more sturdy, but this here was not working, and after that I ended up using this metal wire. It didn't work, and finally in the end I used like a dog chain, and that worked perfectly. That's what I would recommend using. Just get a chain and get some hooks and hook it onto it. I got this vibration motor off of Amazon, and this is the 30-watt motor, and it goes for about 35 bucks. I would recommend getting something more powerful, but I'll have a link in the description, and it'll give you some different options to choose from. I would recommend maybe like 60 watt or more. But also make sure you get a on and off switch and a plug. I did not do that, so I had to wait another week for this to come in the mail, but it all worked out in the end. I stapled on weed barrier cloth on the bottom, and I put a hole in the center, and that way you can get the worm castings to fall right into the bin. I added a canopy to help keep the sun from drying out the worms, and this is what the whole setup looks like in the end. This is right before I start to harvest my first bin of worms. This is the first worm bin that I'm going to harvest right here. And these are the castings from the African night crawlers. Here it is in action. If there's anything that you see that maybe I did wrong, or something that can improve this setup, please let me know in the comments. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel, follow along. I'll have some more videos on my worms coming out. I already have 2 other videos up right now. You can check those out, and you can see more of the sifter working. But as you can see here, I simply get a scoop from the bin, I put it at the top, and then the vibration motor just causes all this movement with the sifter, and The castings fall down the 3/32 screen, the cocoons in the 1/8 inch screen, and then the very bottom is the 1/4 inch, and that's where all the worms kind of pile up, and I'll just simply sweep them up into a dustpan, put them in the bucket, and all my worms will be there. In the end, this sifter cost me about $200 to make, and that's including the wood, the screens, and the motor, and the hooks, the chain, and everything. Now, check out that black gold. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Please subscribe, check out more videos, and have yourself a great day.